Now, as the debate rages about the state of the country's drains, an engineer is pointing to what he says is a fundamental policy problem. We have the details in this report.
A poor drainage system at the center of Jamaica's flooding issues. But for President of the Jamaica Institute of Engineers, Marvin Campbell, the real problem is with successive governments.
The data is there in terms of what needs to be done. I think what has to take is a concerted effort to invest the funds needed to solve these issues.
This data, he says, come from several drainage studies that have been done over the years detailing what is needed. He admits that a number of factors, including climate change, have caused an increase in rainfall volume and frequency.
As well as a lot of the residential and commercial developments have been taking place, have really been increasing the surface water runoff. And what has been happening that we have just simply not been improving the infrastructure. So we have just outgrown the existing drainage infrastructure that we have. You've seen a lot of new roads being developed and the drainage doesn't seem to be a primary focus. And so when you combine those factors, an aging infrastructure that's just simply not adequate for the demands of today, you will have flooding.
The major gullies in the corporate area were built in the 1960s and 70s, with nothing major being built since. Pointing to the drains along Marcus Garvey Drive, for example, Mr. Campbell says the studies clearly outline what is needed.
Having culverts there to channel the water beneath the road that are undersized are just not adequate, right? You actually need flood control measures along that corridor. There are like 3 major points along the corridor that they just need to implement. And the studies have shown that there's a constriction along that corridor. You have the Jersey barriers, which cause the water to build up. Then you have these undersized culverts and drainage network that are just not adequate.
We reached out to the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation for a response to Mr. Campbell's comments, but up to news time, there was still no response. Mr. Campbell is adamant that the professional findings should be employed as the other approaches are failing.
What I want to see is the implementation of the recommendations of the engineering studies, right? The information is there from the drainage analysis, looking at the watershed, looking at the water channels, and for us to implement those as part of the project. Right? We cannot know what is to be done and not be doing it because those corridors, the designs are there, the information is there. It's the will and to ensure as well that what is designed from an engineering solution is what is implemented.
He therefore wants better monitoring by the government of the drainage aspect of road constructions.